was going to use something clever and alarming like a siren or a bell or something that would make this discussion a little more maybe intriguing. But this is 500 seconds to your core, and this is not a drill. I say that to relate to you a model for your consideration and to appreciate my quintessential question about resilience. You might have seen it in the book, on the back cover of the book, or somewhere in the middle, the first few pages, but also in most of my episodes, I have cited that key question about resilience. I want you to ask that question of yourself and ponder it. What drives you? So I have probably touched on this practice before or in a previous episode, but I would like to, as best as I can in this audio format and delivery, to expand on that subject today. Allow me to share with you a different perspective on the term resilience and where you can find it within yourself, or at least to get in the neighborhood or the ballpark marker for your compass and direction. Remember, please, this example or approach is just that, an approach, a new step forward to really discern and discover that substance to the question and to the indicators or initial quote-unquote answers to your sincere and original question. Now, obviously, I have established a very low level or baseline question. What drives you? I'm not interested in what you are driven by or who drives you or to where. My interest remains centered on what internally defined and agreed upon by you, and that drives you to do what you do in terms of positive, love, production, and beauty. We may get to those parameters or terms later in this discussion. But for now, let's focus on getting to the core of you. Or as something my dear brother for almost 44 years, my brother Paco, he and I concur on in terms of what makes an individual an individual. My brother Paco and I decided or came up with this perspective. What makes an individual is core competency. So this discussion today is to tease out or positively unravel or disravel, if that is a word, that stuff of distraction and limited value add to your core, to your heart, to what actually drives your intent, your integrity, your desire, your everyday production. So here is the practice. Remember, this is an exercise literally to draw out from within and for you to see it, to look into it, and then to decide to execute it. All right, here we go. Take out a sheet of paper and pencil or pen or crayon. Yes, those physical devices don't require a USB-C or charger or plug, just a piece of paper and a pencil. Hopefully you will see and observe why in a moment. All right? On the left side of the paper and in a column, write down what you like to do, what you enjoy doing just because. All right? Let's do that. All right, on the far right side of that same sheet of paper, and in a column as well, write down in that column what you do well on a daily or regular, consistent basis. So you have on the left side of the paper, what you like to do just because. The far right side of the paper, what you do well on a daily and regular, consistent basis. All right. Got those two things done? Take your time. Don't rush through it, but come back to it, but at least start that process. All right? Column A, column B. Now, if you have done that, or at least in your mind, if you're driving your car, but at least stay present with me in this exercise if you're driving or do something, manually labor intensive, but at least consider that process in your mind. In the center of that same sheet of paper, write down what appears in both columns, meaning this mixing and matching process. Now, what's in the left column, right column, now in the center column, what appears in both columns. So that mix and match effort should turn out to be a much shorter list than what was on the left column, on the right column, or on your margins, as we say. Right there in the middle of the paper, in the center of your attention right now, you have tentatively identified your core interests. Maybe even indicated your core competency or competencies. And maybe also indicators of what actually drives you. Internally, not externally. Now, I can appreciate the perspective or the idea or the judgment of this elementary level of this exercise and this model. But I'm trying to observe the simplicity as essential as the work required to assess what you do and who you are at your core. Which also is where you can find that beauty I mentioned to you. Your power and force to lead yourself and to produce something positive from your heart in every moment and each day we get to live, in each moment we get to love. Welcome to your core. Maybe it's your core competency, maybe it's your core interest, but welcome to your core, the core of your resilience today. Stay present, stay current. No matter where you are in this world, remember, tell a friend, tell a foe. It's always 820.